Lewy body disease is an age-related degenerative brain disease. It causes gradual brain damage resulting in changes in movement, thinking and behaviour. It is a spectrum disease also found in people with Parkinson's disease, which causes problems with movements at an early stage. Lewy body disease is usually diagnosed after cognitive symptoms have already developed. Lewy bodies are an abnormal accumulation in cells of a naturally occurring protein called alpha-synuclein. This causes brain cells to die. The majority of cases are sporadic, with only a few known cases of inherited Lewy body disease. Lewy body disease shares some similar symptoms with Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia, but it also has distinguishing symptoms including impaired attention, fluctuations in cognition, and difficulty walking upstairs or on patterned floors. Unlike Alzheimer's disease, the short-term memory remains intact in the early stages of this illness. A deterioration in motor skills results in tremors, muscle stiffness, a loss of facial expression, problems with balance and posture, and slowness in movement and speech. People with Lewy body disease can experience visual hallucinations, delusions, and sleep disorders. Anxiety, depression, and apathy often occur. There are also changes when it comes to involuntary functions such as bladder and bowel, and these can become incontinent. There can be low blood pressure. Temperature regulation and heart rhythm may also be affected.
Early on, he began to walk in a rather bent way and he began to shuffle. And I remember my daughter saying, "Oh, for God's sake, Mum, can't you get him to speed up a bit?" I said, "He absolutely can't." I discovered myself increasingly taking over tasks that he had performed in the household. I mean, he cleaned and I cooked. I made the mess and he cleaned up after me. And he became increasingly unable to do that.
As these things were peeled off one by one, it was rather eerie. It was like fencing with someone in the dark, because I wouldn't anticipate, usually I wouldn't anticipate, that the next time I went to use some skill, e.g., how do you cut up your food when you're seated at the table and you're going to eat something, suddenly to discover you don't know any longer is a real shock.
So, do you mind if I just turn your plate? Okay.
I notice you've got stairs. Are they presenting a problem to you?
They are. They're a real difficulty, stairs. Anything with a pattern on it is liable to give you difficulty. And it will resist you and want to take over from you and insert something else at a turn, so that hallucinations are one thing that happens in this particular form of dementia.
I mean, he does read, but I note when he's reading a book that he does seem to spend a long time on a particular, and he jumps from one book to another. So the attention and concentration are certainly affected. But his perception in many ways is not affected.
A diagnosis is important, as people with Lewy body disease have sensitivity to medications we call antipsychotics. Medicines are available to reduce the specific motor and cognitive functions in Lewy body disease.
Lewy body disease is a spectrum disorder. It shares some symptoms with Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia. It causes changes in cognition, movement, behaviour, and involuntary functioning. A person with Lewy body disease has good days and bad days.